gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
In the infamous words of Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit, it's just one of those days. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where things are going to go wrong because, you know, I'm Irish and Murphy's Law always applies. Sorry for scratching my armpit in the middle of my intro. Hi. We're ready to go, I guess. I have a bunch of tabs open, and hopefully someday Streamlabs will get its shit together and fix the problem that I keep asking them about. It's not being fixed. Very annoying. But you're here. I'm here. We're not queer. But if we were, I wouldn't give a shit, because I don't care what you do in your personal life, as long as you don't rub it on me. So let's get this shit going, because I'm a little salty this morning, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. First, though, let's say hi. But even before that, Gunfox is busy bee, and I'm gonna just redo this because, yeah, we've already got some spicy meatballs in the works, and I am just clicking them left and right because, you know, Gunfox, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Dropping a few Hamiltons in the tip jar. I don't know if anyone's going to beat that today, but we'll see, you know, or even if you could just get on the board, that'd be awesome. By the way, to do that, you would go to, let's see, let me try and fix this because my cloud bot's screwed up. So don't disregard Johnny Boomer Tech today again, because Streamlabs hates me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it at the top by myself. If you want to sponsor the show, it's easy. pdognight.live. Oh, what the hell is that? That's not what I want. pdognight.live/tip. But the easier way is just to click the link that I'm about to drop at the top of the chat. So if you want to sponsor the show, that's the best place. Now you can use YouTube Super Chats or Rumble Rants, even though I'm not streaming over there. But this is the best one, the one that I put kind of up there somewhere. So there you go. All right, let's get the show started. Let's do some things. First in the chat today is Mr. Gunfox 61 gets the bell. What the heck is going on here? I don't know what's going on with apparently someone up above is happy about that. Also, good morning to the honorable mention favorite Canadian, a.k.a. Special K on Acid. Also, good morning, Tyler F. Avocados Diaboli's in the house. And something's wrong there. Why is that so loud? Holy crap. I don't know if it's loud to you. It's really loud to me. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Furry Kitten. Hey, what's up? Another friend from the pond, across the pond. Number one is in the house. Good morning. Sapphire Dragon. Lord Stanhope. I said Lord Stanhope already. What am I doing? Kara Soldier. Did I say Kara Soldier? I did not say Kara Soldier. Okay, there you go. I'm doing that, you know.
Come on, man.
Anyway, and Reaction Puerto Rico is in the house. And also Tyler somebody. Tyler Alexander the Scourge. And also, good morning to Maddie. Johnny Boomer Tech trying to do his thing, but can't get the right link. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Diesel Dave, what's up? Good morning to see you, sir. This 2 days in a row. I am so happy you're back. Attack Alpaca's in the house. Who else is here? Anyone else? Oh, there's Amazing Disgraces in the house. Okay, that's a lot of people so far. Let's get while you're here, do that share the stream thing. That's the big one. You can, you know, if you follow me on X, you can just redo what I did, or you can make your own notification. I don't care. There's an arrow down at the bottom of the YouTube channel. You can do that. We got some Let's Go's though. Thank you. Jimmy Das Hotep dropped this Let's Go in the There's a Let's Go from Jimmy Das Hotep. I know you're here somewhere. You're probably lurking in the background. Oh my God, Gabrielle Clark's in the house. What's up, Gabs? Nice to see ya. Holy moly. All right, that's good. And Green Badger Outdoors gave you one of these. That's some funny shit. Thank you also. Okay. Reaction on Puerto Rico's throwing a whole bunch of them up there. Let's see. What's this now? DEFCON levels. 1, nuclear war imminent, never. 1, activated, never. 2, well, because you're probably already dead if it's imminent. Okay, those are the DEFCON levels. I don't know if I'm causing a DEFCON, but whatever. Gabby, I'm so happy to see you. It's nice to have you back. Let's see. All right, let's get into the show because I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. All right, let's talk about what's happening. Obviously, today is the greatest day of the week, a.k.a. Hump Day. And so I always try to figure out what people put on here for Hump Day. Oh, GDSOB's in the house. Good morning. So here's the first one up here on Hump Day. Oh my gosh, the cough is killing me. Somebody's good morning and happy Hump Day. Let's see, Kamala Harris. We both lost. But Tyson saying, yes, but I banked 20 million and you lost 20 million. So that's some funny shit. Now, normally I am very reluctant to scroll on the Hump Day tab whenever the, trending topics tab. Because usually you'd see some, body parts, penises, buttholes, breasts, and things. But this one is at least somewhat demure. At least, there you go, Avocado Stably. That's just for you. I know this is kind of your thing. And, there you go. So happy Hump Day, everybody. That's as much as I'm going to scroll because I'm afraid to see what else is down there. And so there you go. Oh, wait. By the way, some very good advice from Doc from Back to the Future. Here we go. Marty, we need to go back to the 80s and just stay there. Yeah, that would be, holy shit. I would be like, that's probably accurate. So anyway, by the way, I've been thinking about this and I know it didn't hurt to think. What am I doing here? Let's see. I know what I was doing. So I have a new thing. In my merch store that I'm trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to market it. But it's a new series. Let me go to my store here. I'm gonna put a link to my store in the chat today, in the links today. Got a new product, and I was thinking about this when Donald Trump got reelected, and seeing as a very important date's coming up. That I was saying that I'm late for a very important date song. Very important date's coming up, January 20th, 2025. And I was thinking about what kind of merch could I make that if I came out with it first would be a good idea. But I'm reluctant to market it until I'm ready because people are going to copy it. I know people are going to copy it. But there's a certain saying that I've been using a lot during this election season and basically inspired by actually the current vice president of the United States. And you know what that saying is. Unburdened by what has been. And I was thinking, gosh, what would be a really good merch item for to get people ready for Inauguration Day. And I came up with this. And so it is, the links are on here. I'm not marketing it yet, but if you want to be one of the first people to have it, January 20th, 2025, unburdened by what has been. I think it's a great idea. In fact, I have a whole bunch of other things here. I've got stocking caps and a visor. There's shirts. Okay, January 20th. Unburdened by what has been. I got a crop top shirt. I got some fitted shirt for the men's. Got just some regular old cheap t-shirts for people who are cheap, so to speak. And No blonde wigs. I am going for the January. We're going to celebrate Inauguration Day. And so I'm going to start. And also you can get these in different colors. For example, the hoodie, the t-shirt, all the shirts come in either black or red. Some are redder than others, but whatever. That's the Trump colors. I'm pretty much sticking to black and red. I got a couple on Teespring too. There's some in pink also. We are not cheap. We are poor. Well, by getting one of these, you would warm your heart. So at least you'd be warm. Anyway, this is on the on my what do you call it? The Streamlabs store, merch store, and then I also have one in Teespring. I'm not going to put that link out yet. But I'm just trying to think, gosh, what's the best way to market this and before somebody steals my idea? So we'll do what we can. Anyway, so good morning, Rick Ashbringer. I see you there. So that's some new in my merch store. I hope you'll like that. There's a couple other items in the merch store. Let's see. Let's get into what else is happening. Let's see. We did Hump Day already. I got to be careful here. I got to be careful. Anyway, my merch store will be in the link. If you're interested, I ordered a couple just for samples, and hopefully I'll get those soon. Let's talk about what's happening in the world. Today, ladies and gentlemen, today's celebrity birthday. Today's celebrity birthday is none other than Joseph Rahim Biden. Today is Joe Biden's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. President is trending. And you know what? I have nothing other to say. Just a happy birthday, Mr. President. I hope you know what today is. I hope you remember. You know the thing. It's Joe Biden's birthday. So let's look at a couple birthday messages, and then we'll move on. Nancy Mace is happy. Oh, I got her in the list. Don't worry. She's in my list today. We talked about her yesterday, but I'm going to talk about it a little more. The U.S., I don't know what even USA presidential. USA presidential is what? Presidential history. Happy birthday to Joseph Rahim Biden. No, he's not 46, though. he's almost double that. Born in November 20th, 1942 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Never knew he was from Scranton. Did you? He never talks about Scranton, does he? Let's see. Someone in Vegas, Jake. Happy birthday, Joe Biden. You spent your life in service of the United States and have done so with integrity and honor, except for the grift. You're a giant of the Democratic Party and an example of what actual strength and leadership looks like. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Yo, this is like a fucking comedy routine. What are you all talking about? We know how much he's public. What does he say? He said your life in service of the United States. So he's been in government his whole basically adult life. Yay. Oh, fucking yay. I'm sorry.
Your life makes me sad.
But he is the president of the United States. Somehow that happened. And let's see, just because it's your birthday doesn't mean it's an excuse to not pack your things up from the White House today. Let's get to packing, bitch. Okay, anyway, no, I respect the office of the president of the United States, even though I don't think the one right now knows he's in that office. But he did authorize some missiles from Ukraine to start World War III, so he could maybe invoke martial law or some shit and not have to leave office. I don't know what's going on with that. But speaking of that, Kyiv is trending, as in Kiev. Some people say Kiev, it's Kyiv. And it's trending because the State Department has said that the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv received specific information of a potential significant air attack on November 20th. The embassy will be closed and recommends U.S. citizens be prepared to immediately shelter in the event an air alert is announced. They're evacuating the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv. It appears Russia may bomb the U.S. Embassy today. The State Department response will be to provide additional arms, funding, and longer-range missile strikes inside Russia. This is the escalatory trap we've all been warned about. Congress needs to hear from us. No more funds. That's someone who's not happy about the events in Kyiv, like most of us, Russia is going to turn Ukraine into a parking lot because of the idiotic Democrats and mainstream media who have pushed this nonsensical funding of a Nazi regime in Kyiv. That's Matt Couch. He's on the right. Someone here says, by threatening embassies in Kyiv, Putin pretends he's escalating, but he has nothing. It's time to deliver Taurus. What? Who is this? This is Marcika de Edelin. She's saying, by threatening embassies in Kyiv, Putin pretends he's escalating, but he has nothing. It's time to deliver Taurus missiles. They've never missed target and can penetrate the deepest bunkers in Moscow. This person's wants to escalate this shit. These people are out of their fucking minds. Look, the only reason we're in this mess, in my opinion, is because we elected a weak president in 2020. If you want to put an asterisk by elected, that's up to you. But before that, because Hillary Clinton was trying to find a way to smear Donald Trump, she came up with a scheme along with the Democratic National Committee to come up with this Steele dossier claiming that Donald Trump was using the Russians to get himself elected, and there was a collusion and all this shit, and so all of a sudden, all of that diplomatic effort she was doing as Secretary of State to attempt to make our relations with Russia better were thrown out the fucking window, because now Russia was our enemy and Donald Trump was colluding with them. Remember before, about 2 years earlier, 3 years earlier, when she was Secretary of State and they had that stupid Russian reset button? Yeah, who knew that was just a button to launch more bullshit? And I fully put this entire sudden hatred for Russia, which Russia's not a great... Look, no one likes Putin. No one gives a shit about Putin. But we have been demonizing Russia. We've been encroaching on encroaching NATO on their closer and closer to them against agreements we made a long time ago. And we've made them our enemy in the minds of Democrats. So now Democrats lose their fucking mind every time they hear anything that has to do with Russia. And so they're now want to go to war with Russia. I put this solely on Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, because our relationship with Russia, instead of having the Russian reset, it's the big, great deterioration and escalation. And everything bad that goes against Democrat has something to do with Putin. And you know what? Putin's like, what the fuck are these people doing? So anyway, now apparently also now, Russia is now severing the internet cables on which the U.S. and Europe rely on for global communications 2 in 1 day. Probably no coincidence that Musk... Oh my God. Wait a minute. This is probably no coincidence that Musk has the, quote, solution via his Starlink. Naive Western folks still has no idea what's coming. So apparently, Finland and Lithuania report severed undersea data cables. China says external force likely severed fiber optic link. Lithuania also reports a broken subsea data cable to Sweden. So someone's sabotaging communications in Europe. Undersea cable between Lithuania and Sweden damaged. Okay, a couple of articles there. And then this guy says, once again, Putin's red line was another joke to naive Westerners. Well, wait a minute. Red line? Bloomberg, U.S. hits Ukraine, hits Russia with Western-made missiles first time, according to a report. What's this one? what that is. But Ukraine braces for a major air assault, prompting the closure of several embassies, including the U.S. Scott Ritter warns this could involve a catastrophic thermobaric bomb capable of devastating NATO and erasing Kyiv from the map. Meanwhile, Ukraine has escalated its counterattacks, now using UK-supplied Storm Shadow missiles into Russian territory. Russia has begun a new phase, likely a final phase of this war. So is this Scott Ritter? Let's see what he has to say. I'm sure that, though, that Democrats will say, oh, this is Russian propaganda. This is Russian misinformation.
The decision has been made. It is automatic. The moment the ATACMS is used, Russia will respond, and the response will be catastrophic for Ukraine and devastating for NATO and the United States. When I say catastrophic, Kiev will be destroyed. It won't be a nuclear weapon, but I've been told what the weapon probably will be, and it'll be a gigantic thermobaric bomb that will level downtown Kiev, killing everybody there. Russia will take Kiev off the map. And if I know this, the CIA knows this, Biden knows this, Zelensky knows this. The thing is, they think Russia's bluffing. They don't think Russia will do it. The decision has been made. It is automatic. The moment the ATACMS is used, Russia will respond, and the response will be catastrophic for Ukraine and devastating for NATO and the United States. When I say catastrophic.
Okay, I know I played it twice, but whatever. So, why did Biden do this? Why did Biden authorize this? And then all of a sudden, because, yesterday the whole thing was Russia claims that Ukraine dropped 6 missiles into Russian territory. Today, apparently, that was true. And so now they're evacuating embassies in Kyiv. And not just American embassies. Now, who has Russia prevents World War III despite NATO asking for it on their bingo card? Maybe Ukraine shouldn't have listened to the Biden administration when they told them to use those missiles. Go figure. I'm going to put this as a separate link if you want to reference this one later. So anyway, anyone think we have a problem? I do. This is nuts. This is freaking nuts. And y'all, I think, is this a strategy by the Biden administration just to fuck shit up because Trump's coming in? Is this the Biden administration version of taking all the W's off the keyboard? If you know what I just said, what that reference was, put a 1 in the chat. Moving on, while I can, Hampton Inn is trending. Now, I know I didn't put these in a very good, they're in a fairly random order today. Hampton is trending. Why? This is kind of some celebrity shit. So apparently, Jay Leno has been seriously injured again after the comedian says he fell down a hill at the Hampton Inn. Now, someone says, who believes this? Did Jay join the Black Eye Club? Sorry, none of this adds up to me, starting with Jay Leno being at a Hampton Inn. So people are like having a lot of talk about whether or not Jay Leno would be staying at a Hampton Inn. And is this bad publicity for Hampton Inn or is it good publicity for Hampton Inn? I'm just curious. That's kind of weird. So anyway, so everyone's talking about Hampton Inn, whether or not Hampton Inn is really, a place that Jay Leno would stay, but also whether or not Hampton Inn is a decent hotel chain to stay in. Now, look, I mean, you never know. Maybe he's a cheap fucker. There's some celebrities who are cheap. They're not going to stay at the 6-star hotels. So Jay Leno got set on fire a few years ago, is staying at the Hampton Inn while being worth millions of dollars with an eye patch, bruised up face, broken wrist, and a missing fingernail. And he wants us to believe he fell down a hill. Well, I don't know. Lots of people curious. So there you go. If you want to know why people are talking about the Hampton Inn, there you go. By the way, speaking of people, things are still talking about, other than the missiles in Ukraine going into Russia, people are still talking about Jaguar today. Now, we watched this crazy-ass commercial that Jaguar came up with, and apparently people can't just stop talking about it. Lou Perez, by the way, speaking of, none of these people can parallel, not a single person in this ad can parallel park. Now, someone here, though, we're not going to watch the ad again. If you really, really want to watch, in fact, if you really want to watch it, I'll make a separate link for this ad. So there's your separate link for the ad. It'll be in the links today. But someone here, though, did some work for Jaguar, because knowing that Jaguar is about to get the Bud Light treatment. Here, Jaguar, I fixed your awful ad. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. Isn't that a much better ad for Jaguar? I mean, come on, man. That's how you make a Jaguar ad. I'm just saying, I just did this for Avocados Diablo because I'm trying to help you out, brother. So anyway, there you go. That's a proper ad for Jaguar. But anyway, someone says here, it would be very funny if Jaguar released a video of an actual Jaguar ripping through the new logo and chasing off all the characters in the strange ad and was like, we got you. This is what I would do immediately to save face. Yeah, I think Jaguar. Oh, did they change their logo too? Did this? Wait a minute. I didn't notice that part. Wait a minute. Oh, they did. They even changed the freaking logo. This is the old logo, which that says Jaguar too. A Jaguar is a predatory animal. It's powerful and kind of mean, but really sleek and agile. Versus this gay ass logo. What the hell is that? This looks like you're selling a new special cologne for non-binary people. What the fuck is that? Anyway, and because Jaguar is trending, so is Bud Light. Oh, that's the ad. Bud Light's also trending because of Jaguar. This was Jaguar. Oh, now let me give you an example of something here. And this is why I even opened this. Here's an example of an old Jaguar ad. I mean, this is an old Jaguar. This is a Jaguar ad. I don't even care about the music. Look at all.
Have you ever noticed how in Hollywood movies all the villains are played by Brits?
This is what I think of when I think of a Jaguar.
You just sound right.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mary.
Come on now. Yeah! Yes! This is what I want from a Jaguar! A powerful, sleek, agile machine, even though they're shitty cars anyway, but still.
More focused.
Look at all the look, they got all the British villains here.
We're always one step ahead.
Yes!
With a certain style, an eye for detail.
Yes!
And we're obsessed by power. Stiff upper lip is key.
This
And we all drive Jaguars.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
It's good to be bad.
Yes! Yes! That's what a Jaguar ad should look like! By the way, Midnight Exile, I'm going to be here for quite a while, so I'm glad to see you here on time for a change. Well, close for you on time, at least. This commercial's kind of gay, too. No! It's not gay. It is not gay. That ad is not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Now, let's compare and contrast. I wasn't going to play it again, but damn it, now I have to. You compare that. No, stop it. You compare that to this. Fresh hell. Oh, that's not even it. That's not even it. Here's this fucked up thing they came up with for the new Jaguar ad. Who thought this was a good idea? Now, if this was, I was gonna say, if this was an ad for Subarus, even though I think lesbians would be pissed. I think lesbians would be pissed off if you did a Subaru ad like this, because they want to be in the forest. No, that was not a double entendre, but it kind of works. No, I can't. You're right. I can't do it. I can't even play this shit again. So anyway, there you go. That's why Jaguar is trending. Fuck Jaguar. Now, but hang on. On that note, there is something trending. The American Medical Association is trending, and it kind of is related to the Jaguar ad. So here we go. Apparently, the American Medical Association believes that taxpayers should fund $300,000 uterus transplants to help transgender women get pregnant. Now, it's not. I don't think it's something that they've actually perfected yet, because, I don't even know if there's parts of the male brain that are designed to grow a uterus. I think that would be this is so fucked up. I don't even know how to say it. This is so messed up. Now, I don't have the actual article. I don't see anyone linking it anywhere. But why? You remember? Oh, I didn't even have this screen. This is it's in the Daily Mail apparently. Let me see if I can find this article. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this. Daily Mail uterus. Because you always wonder, is this this is for real? Okay, here's the. Wait a minute. This is a different article. This is insane. Leading British surgeon calls for transgender women to have life-changing, at least they're not saying life-saving this time. Hello, Sapphire Dragon. Life-changing womb transplants so they can have their own children with IVF. Why? Every time I see shit like this, I think, wasn't there some kind of doctor or surgeon or something who was doing really fucking barbaric shit to alter people's bodies and stuff, and in that era of the guy with the funny mustache, some guy named Mengele or something like that. All this shit is beginning to sound like Mengele experiments. It's fucking insane. That's not the article I was looking for, though. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the one about the AMA. I'm going to leave both these articles in here. Let's see. AMA uterus uterus transplants. All right, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. AMA fact check. Okay, we're going to open both these articles. There is a fact check from the American Medical Association. So here's the Daily Mail article. And this may be incorrect. So this is why you got to be careful sometimes with what you read. You see it everywhere. So this says, okay, wait a minute, that's not it. Where's the? Here we go. Let's see. We're going to read the article and then we're going to read the American Medical Association fact check. Fact check. Taxpayers should fund $300,000 uterus transplants to help transgender women get pregnant, suggest authors in AMA Journal. Arguments were made to reduce the cost of surgery in the AMA's Journal of Ethics. It argued trans women's inability to bear children may undermine their health and well-being. What? How? Hello, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. What's up? And Frankie Deller, what's up? It argued trans women's inability to bear children may undermine their health and well-being. Really? Really? Oh, you mean them just living like they normally would live is worse for their health than introducing foreign body parts from other people and trying to cause a pregnancy? Remember the pregnancies that are so dangerous for women? So you're going to try to introduce it into a body that's not designed to do that stuff, and you think that's going to be better for their health than just holy shit, the stuff they come up with. Let's just read the article. The American Medical Association has published an article which suggested that taxpayers should subsidize uterus transplants worth up to $300,000 to help transgender women get pregnant. Arguments were made to reduce the cost of the surgery in its Journal of Ethics. Ethics, and it does not belong in this article whatsoever. In June, titled Patient-Centered Transgender Surgical Care. The AMA has accused of holding an activist position, but in a statement to dailymail.com, they insist that they officially have no position existing or anticipated on the issue of uterus transplantation in transgender individuals. Nonetheless, the journal article has garnered attention, arguing that trans women's inability to bear children may cause them to experience psychological dissonance. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Isn't this already psychological dissonance? It's reality dissonance, which undermines their health and well-being. So yes, let's do some Mengele-like surgeries and throw some shit inside of them that's probably going to rot and die. So then they'll have worse than sepsis and die anyway. What the? I'm surprised Gunfox didn't send this to me. Or did you? Do you already have this in the? I didn't look at the Discord today. You might have it in there already. If it's not in there, put it in there. Damn it. It comes as doctors pioneering uterus transplants believe they are on the verge of allowing transgender women to give birth to their own children. Really? Through their front hole? How exactly are you gonna? Because certainly the rigidity of the hip bones, you probably kill them when they break hip bones. Oh no, they're all going to do C-sections, right? This is fucking insane. Hello, Selector Boy.
Yeah, boy.
This is fucking insane. Oh, for fuck's sake. How would a womb transplant for a trans woman actually work? It won't, Dr. Mengele. The article says trans women who want to give birth can plausibly justify the subsidy of uterus transplants, which cost up to $300,000. Oh, really? Up to? Is there any way to get a discount uterus transplant, like the Temu version? Trans women. Quote, this is a quote, trans women lack a trait, the ability to bear children, that may cause them to experience psychological dissonance, which they already have, in a way that undermines their health and well-being. Dr. Timothy F. Murphy and Kelsey Mumford wrote in the Journal of Ethics. The lack of a uterus also closes off the prospect of gestating a child in a way that is available to women as a class. Maybe, just maybe, is because that's how they were born. It follows that lack of a uterus is an obstacle to full participation in the social goods attached to women identity. Dr. Marty Makary criticized the Medical Association and questioned why it was not using its resources to research complications surrounding gender-affirming treatment. It is odd that the AMA is choosing to really focus on this activist position rather than fund the important research we need in transgender medicine, he told Fox's Fox and Friends on Wednesday. What's the regret rate after transition surgery? What's the long-term complication rate of hormones? Those studies are not being done. Instead of funding those studies, they've chosen to take an activist position. He added, it is very hard to research in this field because the activists have run a lot of people out of town that reasonable doctors and objective scientists have been run out of town. Right. That's why you're not hearing you're not hearing the other side of this. They don't want you to know it. Even recently, Mayo and Jefferson have fired people over simply suggesting that we need better research. This shit's crazy. Thank you, Ty Alexander, for sponsoring the show. Tyre with a 230 said, Ty of Fire and Flame says, each day we stray further from God's light. Do you remember the trans individual that wanted to be the first trans individual to get an abortion? The fucking Aztec would look at this shit and be sickened by it. I know I am. Mutate your body on your own dime. Yes, I agree. 100%. I don't even, why would you even think that this should be a taxpayer, even hint at taxpayer funding of any sort of this, for this shit? You fucking researchers could get a GoFundMe if you want to. But I'm done with this shit. This is crazy. So anyway, the American Medical Association did a fact check on recent articles about uterus transplant. Wait a minute. What's the date of this article? This is from 24th of August, 2023. That's an old article. Holy shit. Why is this trending right now? But anyway, their fact check on the article says multiple media outlets have published inaccurate stories with inflammatory headlines about the American Medical Association Journal of Ethics article that explored ethical considerations for uterus transplants in transgender individuals. These outlets falsely report that the journal article represents the views or policy of the AMA. Well, they seem to have clarified it in that article. Hello, Jimmy D. Because there's a group of people who are marginalized that deserve to be just as happy as you or I. Yes, great. And if they can do that on their own dime, and they've been marginalized on their own accord because a certain segment of society allows for the delusion to continue. Okay? Look, I don't even give a shit. If someone wants... I have a transgender guy working right next to it at work. And it's all his own accord, not on my dime. Okay? So if you want to be happy, figure out a way to be happy. But I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to even participate in it. Okay? So there you go. They can't afford it on their own dime. Well, then I'm sorry. Find another way to make yourself happy. Okay? There's no such thing as being born in the wrong body. You're born in the body you're in. And now if you need some help and need to get psychological counseling for that, I'm fine. Okay? And if you want to live your life however you want, fine. But again, not on my dime. Why? What gives you the right to take my dime for you, for that? Okay? I just don't understand it. It's not absurd. It's the truth. No, it's absurd. And whether it feels like a choice is irrelevant. Okay? Fine. Feel anything you want. Do whatever you want. Do anything live your life. But again, you're arguing that someone else should pay for it is the issue I have. Anyway, so here's the facts. Below are several important facts to know related to these things. The AMA has no policy or advocacy positions on uterus transplantation, nor has it proposed taxpayer funding of such procedures. Any reporting or claims on the contrary are false. And they clarified that in their update on the article. Fact, the journal article published in June 2023 presented ethical arguments for a hypothetical health issue. It was written by a university professor, a fourth-year medical student, and included a clear disclaimer that the views expressed are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the American Medical Association. Good. It's absolutely elective, Jimmy. The AMA Journal of Ethics is editorially independent journal from the AMA, similar to all major medical journals. So the American Medical Association itself has no position on that. So that's good. That's good in my eyes, I guess. That's, whatever. All right, let's move on. We're done with that. Oh, also in the news, I got to get to these articles pretty soon. Susan Smith is in. Susan Smith, this crazy woman. This is a bad person. I hope we can all agree that Susan Smith is a bad person. Even you, Jimmy. By the way, Jimmy, I am glad you're here. I like it when there's people here who don't always agree with me because you make me think about things, but I have to strengthen my arguments. And obviously, on that particular issue, I'm not going to convince you, and you're not going to convince me. But it is interesting to hear other people's opinions. So please feel free to say whatever you want in my chat. We'll never censor you in any way. Wait. Also look at the company you keep. Like maybe you have a reasonable take with it's fine, but I don't want to pay for it. But look at those around you. Well, what? Okay, Jimmy. I feel bad that I am not super strong, okay? And so I want the government to pay for muscle transplants to make me bigger and more muscular, and also steroids and testosterone transplants so I can work out better. And it would really be great for my mental health if I could be stronger, faster, and maybe even have a bionic eye. So I think as part of I think taxpayers should fund a portion of my surgeries to do that. It would be great for my psychological health. In fact, what did you say here? It's a function of brain chemistry people don't choose. No, there's no research that's interesting. There's no research that has confirmed that. I've read so many studies they tried to do brain studies on this at UCLA. There's a couple famous studies on this. No, in fact, there's probably more evidence that it's a somewhat fetishish activity for some, for most. Okay, so there you go. So anyway, well, no, I don't think if studies showed it helped you, go for it. No. If studies shows it helped me, it still should be on my own dime. I should never expect anyone else to pay for that. So anyway, let's get on to Susan Smith here. Dave Smith just arrived to Susan Smith parole hearing. Susan Smith, isn't she the one who killed her kids? She drowned them? Well, she's up for parole. Dave Smith just arrived to Susan Smith's parole hearing. Here is her ex-husband and the father of the boy she murdered. He wanted the death penalty, and now 30 years later has to see her again as she asked the South Carolina Parole Board to free her. So here's more than 400 people asked the South Carolina not to release Susan Smith from prison. Convicted murderer Susan Smith has served 30 years of her life sentence, will be asking the state to release her on parole Wednesday. Smith, 53, was found guilty of drowning her two young boys in a Union County lake and claimed a black man stole her car from her with the children inside. Her version of what happened made international headlines in October 1994 before investigators found after a 9-day search that she was responsible. As of 12 p.m. Monday, 471 people wrote to the state regarding her parole hearing. According to officials, only 6 of the correspondence received by the South Carolina Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardon Services, the Office of Victim Services, were in favor of her release. Prosecutors said Smith was having an affair with a wealthy son of the owner of a business she worked at. He broke it off because she had 2 young sons, and Smith decided she was going to kill her children in response. Smith's lawyer said she was remorseful, suffering mental breakdown, and intended to die alongside her children, but left the car at the last moment. Yeah, but then she lied and said a brother stole her car with the kids in it, and they found out that was her. Here, let's do a poll on this one. Let's see. Poll. Simple question. Susan Smith. Parole. I'm just gonna put my thumb on the scale. I'm in the fuck no category. Let this woman die in prison, for all I give shit. That's just there's some crimes I just have no forgiveness for. I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised in South Carolina she didn't get the death penalty. That's just monstrous. That's the. I don't know. I have no words for this person whatsoever. So anyway, that article will be in the links. Unbelievable. Nancy Mace is trending. Still the fight over the bathrooms in Congress. She put up she did a sign up in her near her office. I know that this upsets people, but it's what's fascinating about this whole thing is how is it that new women, I would call them, get priority over all old women? I just don't understand it. And maybe I don't know if who was here earlier? Was it David or what was his name? Jimmy D. Maybe you can help me understand this. Now, the other part of this is, I don't know if this is a moot point. I mean, certainly there's a gym in Congress that has men and women's locker rooms. As far as the bathrooms are concerned, every congressional office has a private bathroom. So I don't know if this is the most important thing, but I think it's a what do you call it? It's a stance taken for I can't even think of the word I'm thinking of. Taking a stand. Oh my God, my brain is not working. You know the thing.
You know the thing.
Anyway, here's the thing that's going on. As we talked about yesterday, Sarah McBride, the transgender congressperson from Delaware, will be in the next Congress, and Nancy Mace wants to only have women in the women's facilities that are made to the public, particularly the locker room in the congressional gym and the public restrooms. Sarah McBride will have a private restroom in her office, and I'm just saying her because it's easier than going through he, her, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. And I don't know. I think it's interesting that only women who agree with the activists get a choice in this. Apparently, that's kind of the what do you call it? That's the gist of this. So there you go. And then Delaware's trending because people are putting up pictures of this person before he, she, whatever transitioned. Someone says, I'm less concerned about the congressional bathroom situation than I am about the fact that Delaware knowingly elected a person with severe mental illness. That's Carpe Donktum. A lot of people have opinions on this. So Delaware elected a man who likes to wear women's clothing to satisfy some bizarre sex fetish. In Congress, no fucking way that should that man be allowed to use the women's facility, stand up to defend women. These are just opinions on X, which I'm fully in support of. I know that Jimmy won't like me for that, but that's okay. I'm over it. So anyway, for whatever reason, this has become a fight, and we'll follow that as it goes, but we talked about it enough yesterday. Linda McMahon's trending because Donald Trump has nominated Linda McMahon to be the education secretary, which is interesting. Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane, says, congrats to Linda McMahon, our new Secretary of Education. Honored to call you a friend and can't wait to see what you accomplish with Donald Trump over the next 4 years. Well, hopefully what they accomplish is we figure out how useless the Department of Education is. Other than, again, I made this point the other day. The Department of Education came into existence in 1980 when the United States was considered number one in the world in education. And we had a 99% literacy rate in the United States. Since that department has come to existence, we've dropped in rank to in the 40s. Literacy rates dropped to the 70 percentile. And really the only thing I think that the Department of Education does that is worthwhile, that other departments could not do, or other departments could actually do, for example, administer funds that go for development disabled and special education programs, which could certainly be administered by the HHS. But all it does is put down mandates on high. And we don't need a centralized education system when every state has a Department of Education. So it's a redundant department that basically can be the functions of which can be done through laws and through other departments. So the idea, someone said, oh my gosh, he's thinking to get rid of the Department of Education. Where will all these teachers go? No teachers will have jobs and the students will not be educated. Well, before the Department of Education existed, we did a better job of educating people in the United States. So how about we figure out those factors? Okay, so there you go. But and plus, look, I would be surprised if they did not confirm this nomination, only because Linda McMahon has already been in the cabinet, and no one ever complained about the job she did as part of the cabinet. Now, it is funny, to see all these little WWE. Oh my gosh, there she goes. The McMahon family fighting in the WWE. It is funny to see the WWE clips. Linda McMahon is quite the accomplished businesswoman too. So, despite her public persona. All right, moving on. Let's see. Milton Friedman's trending. Yes, Milton Friedman's trending. And why? Because, well, I think Elon Musk may have mentioned Milton Friedman, and he posted this clip of Milton Friedman, the world famous and Nobel Prize winning economist. And I think this may be, Elon seems to be saying that this is what do you call it? Maybe a blueprint for what's to come. Let's see what Milton Friedman has to say.
14 is a lot for television, so I want to just go right down the list quickly and have you give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Keep them or abolish them. Department of Agriculture.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Commerce.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Defense.
Keep.
Keep it. Department of Education.
Abolish.
Gone. Energy.
Abolish. Except that energy ties in with the military.
Well, then we shove it under defense.
That's
the little
right.
bit that handles the nuclear,
right, that ought to go under
plutonium
defense.
and so forth goes under defense, but we abolish the rest of it. Health and Human Services?
There is room for some public health activities to prevent contagion.
Okay, so there you go.
Such a thing as, for example,
this might be
so
the
you
blueprint.
keep the National Institutes of Health, say,
No,
not the National Institute.
No,
those are mostly research agencies. No, that's a question of whether the government should be involved in financing research.
And the answer is no.
Well, that's a very complicated issue, and it's not an easy answer with respect to that.
We'll eliminate half of the Department of Health and Human
something
Services?
like that.
Okay, one half.
Okay,
there we go.
one
Housing
half.
and Urban Development?
Out.
Bye.
Didn't even pause over that one. Department of the Interior.
Oh, well, but housing and urban development has done an enormous amount of harm. My God. If you think of the way in which they've destroyed parts of cities under the rubric of eliminating slums.
Jack Kemp,
created
You know,
slums.
you remember Martin Anderson
Cabrini
wrote a
Green
book
was
on the
part of the
federal
house.
bulldozer
It was part of
describing
that.
the effect of the urban development. There have been many more dwelling units torn down in the name of public housing than have been built.
Jack Kemp has proposed selling to the current inhabitants of public housing their unit, their townhouse, their apartment, for $1 a piece, and just shifting the ownership to the people who live in.
If you got rid of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, it would be worth doing that.
All right, done. That's gone.
Next.
Department of the Interior, your beloved National Park Service.
Well, given the problem there is, you first have to sell off all the land that the government owns. But that's what you should do.
But it could be done pretty quickly.
It could be done.
The
You
whole
should
system.
do that. There's no reason for
All right.
government to own. The government now owns something like 1/3 of all the land in the country.
And that's too much. Should go down to 0.
Should go down to, well, not.
I think the caveat on that would be if the states were to maintain those parks on their own and use the tourism dollars from them, you could get rid of the Department of Interior as far as concerning national parks, things like that. You could find a way to preserve those places.
Entirely 0. They ought to own the land on which government buildings are.
Okay, terrific. Department of Justice.
Oh, yes.
Keep that one.
Keep that one.
Labor.
No.
Gone. State.
Keep.
Keep it. Transportation.
Gone.
Gone. The Treasury.
You have to keep it to collect taxes.
All right, collect taxes through the Treasury. Veterans Affairs.
You can regard the Veteran Affairs as a way of
Put
paying
that under the Department of Defense.
essentially salaries for services of those who have been in the armed force. But you ought to be able to get rid of it.
You should be able to
just
pay it off.
Pay it off.
Pay off lump sums, perhaps.
That's right.
And just get rid of it. Okay, Milton Friedman, if you are made dictator for one day, the next day the American government...
No, I don't want to be made dictator.
You wouldn't?
I don't believe in dictators.
Okay.
I believe we want to bring about change by the agreement of the citizens. I don't believe in arbitrary rule.
Let me put it this way then. Your proposal...
If we can't persuade the public that it's desirable to do these things, we have no right to impose them, even if we had the power to do it.
All right. From 14 departments down to four and a
basic
half.
fundamental functions.
Yeah,
What are its
see?
fundamental functions? Preserve the peace, defend the country.
Yes.
Provide a mechanism whereby individuals can adjudicate their disputes.
Yes.
That's the
Justice Department.
Protect individuals from being coerced by other individuals. The police function.
Right.
Yes.
And now, this is both the central government and the state and local governments. The police function is primarily local and central.
Hello,
Right.
1, 2, 3.
And those are the fundamental functions of government, in my opinion.
Milton Friedman, thank you very much.
So there you go. Elon Musk put that out as probably the blueprint. So there you go. Abolish Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Education, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, and Labor. And what was the last one here? Veteran Affairs could be part of the Defense Department. Department of Energy, abolish except for nuclear, tied to military to move defense. Department of Home Security wasn't around back then, but assume it would be abolished also and moved to defense. And then you would, Health and Human Services, here's the ones you keep. Abolish half of Health and Human Services, and then you keep the State Department, Defense, Justice, and Treasury. 15 executive departments cut down to 4. That'd be amazing. And actually, if we would get back to what the federal government was here to do, which is only to preserve liberty and to represent the collective of the states in certain say for commerce and international trade, that's the only function of the government. A lot of the stuff the government does is not supposed to be the function of the federal government. The state government should be doing all these things. Who's going to be in the department of checking genitals before entering the bathroom? Hell, is this your only issue right now? Because we've moved on from that, and nobody has to do that. You get a birth certificate when you're born. So what do you mean? And look, if there weren't so many, oh, never mind. I'm done. I'm off that subject. I'll talk about it again tomorrow, I'm sure, because something else will come up. And if you come by tomorrow, that'd be great. We'll see you then. Anyway, moving on. So let's go to the articles that Gunfox sent me, and then we're going to go to a couple other tweets that I found that I want to talk about briefly, and we'll go from there. So in the news, NASA. This is some NASA news. Unsustainable project. The SLS rocket for the Artemis lunar program under threat of closure. NASA Space Launch System, SLS rocket, a key element of the mission to return humans to the moon after more than 50 years, may be concealed. What? Canceled. What am I reading here? Canceled, not concealed. It's already been concealed. According to ARS Technica, space journalist Eric Berger, the chances are no less than 50-50. This applies to all modifications of the rocket from the original Block 1, which was used in the unmanned Artemis 1 mission in 2022, to the more powerful Block 1B and Block 2 configurations. Now, is this Gunfox? Are you still here? I'm just curious. Who is doing this system? This wasn't the Boeing one, was it? I'm just curious. While official decisions have not been made, Berger's reports raise serious questions about whether this project should continue to be funded. The problems that have accompanied SLS for years include multi-billion-dollar budget overruns and significant delays. Former NASA Deputy Administrator Lori Garver has already called the project unsustainable. So this is the one that NASA is doing on their own. This is amazing because you got what is it, SpaceX about to launch that the heaviest object ever sent into space. Bezos' rockets have done okay. And the Boeing one, which is having problems. It seems like the private enterprise aeronautics industry is doing much better than the government one. That's just interesting to me. The SLS rocket has become the subject of political debate. Its budget has been exceeded by $6 billion with a B dollars, and its implementation has been delayed for more than 5 years. Former NASA Administrator Michael Griffith, during a congressional hearing, called Artemis program overly complex, incredibly expensive, and compromised crew strategy. The first SLS launch of the Artemis mission in 2022, despite being considered a success, has raised new concerns. The Orion spacecraft has sustained damage that cast doubts on whether the astronauts can safely be sent to the moon in the future. So these are the NASA-built ones. Infrastructure poses additional challenges. The cost of one of the launch towers for future mission has risen to $1.8 billion. And the configuration of Block 1B, which Boeing is developing, is significantly behind schedule. So if this system ends up being scrapped, they might have to go back to the private companies, likely SpaceX, if they think they're going to go get to the moon again. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Also, and speaking of SpaceX, the other article Gunfox gave me here, SpaceX lands Ship 31 in the Indian Ocean but missed the booster catch. So, another Starship flight is in the books for a flawless countdown and waiting through the red closure, which started at 8 a.m. CST. Starship Flight 6, composed of Ship 31 and Booster 13, lifted off right at the top of the window at 4 p.m. Central Time. And then they had the launch countdown stream there. Booster 13 and Ship 31 lifted from orbital launch pad A at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 19th. This stack seemed to lift off the pad faster than in the past, as SpaceX appears to be running their Raptor 2 engines at full throttle rather than at 90%, As in the past, Booster 13 performed flawlessly on the ascent with all 33 engines running. Once at stage separation, the call-out was made, go for catch. After stage separation, the ship 31 ignited all 6 of its engines and headed for space. Then after the boost backburn shut down, SpaceX called out booster offshore divert, meaning something was not healthy with either the booster or tower, which caused an abort for the catch attempt. Booster 13 then came down for a soft water landing, and once down, tipped over, and the methane tank exploded as soon as it hit the water. So they were not able to do the catch game on this one. After Booster 13's demise in the Gulf of Mexico, Ship 31 entered its coast phase and traveled through the night. Then at the expected time, Ship 31 performed an in-space relight with a single sea-level Raptor for about 1 second. Once this was complete, the ship coasted to re-entry, where it was then once again burned through on at least one of the forward flaps. But even with Ship 31 still mostly using the older style heat shield, the ship survived re-entry and made a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So, another successful launch, except they did not get the booster to go back in the grabbers. So there you go. And then finally, the third article that, here we go. This is kind of related to what we talked about earlier. Putin lowers the threshold for using his nuclear arsenal after Biden's arms decision for Ukraine. So we talked about this earlier. I don't know what the purpose of this is. And it's interesting because Biden's getting shit from everybody on this one, left and the right, and markedly so. So, this is from the Associated Press. President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday formally lowered the threshold for Russia's use of its nuclear weapons, a move that follows U.S. President Joe Biden's decision to let Ukraine strike targets inside Russian territory with American-supplied longer-range missiles. The new doctrine allows for a potential nuclear response by Moscow, even to a conventional attack on Russia by any nation that is supported by nuclear power. A nuclear power, excuse me. The Russian Defense Ministry said Ukraine fired 6 U.S.-made ATACMS missiles earlier Tuesday at a military facility in Russia's Bryansk region that borders Ukraine, adding that air defenses shot down 5 of them and damaged 1 more. Ukraine's military claimed the strike hit a Russian ammunition depot. While the doctrine envisions a possible nuclear response by Russia to such a conventional strike, it is formulated broadly to avoid a firm commitment to use nuclear weapons and to keep Putin's option open. So that was we read something about automatic response. Maybe not so automatic, but still. This is an escalation that we do not want. Nobody wants this escalation. I don't know why this is going on. I don't get it. Well, the doctrine. Okay, we did that already. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov emphasized that the Ukrainian strike in Bryansk marked an escalation and urged the U.S. and other Western allies to study the modernized nuclear doctrine. Quote, if the long-range missiles are used from a territory of Ukraine against the Russian territory, it will mean that they are controlled by the American military experts, and we will view that as a qualitatively new phase of the Western war against Russia and respond accordingly, Lavrov said on the sidelines of the G20 meeting in Brazil without elaborating. The approval of the document demonstrates Putin's readiness to tap his nuclear arsenal to force the West to back down as Moscow presses a slow-moving offense in Ukraine as the war has now reached its 1,000th day. Bryansk. Bryansk. I think it's funny to say Bryansk. So there. Show the explosion. Oh, of the rocket. Okay, we'll come back to that. Asked Tuesday if a Ukrainian attack with longer-range U.S. missiles could potentially trigger a nuclear response, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov answered affirmatively, pointing to the doctrine provision that holds the door open for after a conventional strike raises critical threats for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Russia and its ally Belarus. Well, they kind of did. What did they say? For the sovereignty and territorial integrity. They did kind of breach the territorial integrity of Ukraine. This proxy war bullshit is getting out of hand. And I think this is just a finger into the eye of the incoming president, for one, by Biden. Probably a retaliation for whatever Afghanistan was to him. And I don't know. Is this? I don't understand the strategy behind allowing this so that we know that there will be an escalation. It doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll be hearing plenty more about that. Okay, you wanted to see the explosion? Let's see. Splash unconfirmed. Okay, here's the SpaceX explosion. I think this is it.
Wow! All three down to 2 into the water.
Is this it?
Wow! And we have ship splashed down in the Indian Ocean.
Okay, that's the actual ship. That's not the one that exploded. Let's see if the other one's, maybe it's this one. Is this here's the booster splashdown.
That's what we want to see. And there's the water.
Down selecting to 3.
There's the 3. And
see, it's doing the translation just as if it was
this is the
caught.
booster that I believe exploded after it went sideways.
There you go. And I would not be surprised if now it blows up, by the way. So don't be surprised.
There it is.
There you go.
I'm curious if that explosion is going to cause a tsunami somewhere. That's going to be wild. So anyway, there you go. All right. Oh shoot, I'm out of time. Well, I'm just going to do it anyway. A couple of things I wanted to show you. Let's do the main topic first. So okay, here we go. Let's do this one first. So this is there's a lot of new information coming out about the day that is about the day that was the most devastating day to democracy since the Civil War, right? The biggest attack on democracy, about that day in January 2021 that many people have been going to jail for and whatnot, which, some who fought with police maybe should have, but obviously there's a major double standard in how the justice works for people who protest certain things and where they protest it. So Julie Kelly the other day hinted that there's going to be some Capitol Police officers that's going to have some explaining to do. And that's the title of the show today, right up here, Splainin to do. And so this post came out today. Meet Dan Hodges, one of the January 6th celebrity cops. In never before publicly posted footage from Hodges' body camera, Hodges is seen randomly assaulting J6 protesters outside the Capitol at 2 p.m. This is about 40 minutes after D.C. Metro and Capitol Police launched their first assaults on the crowd gathered at Capitol grounds. Police improperly used non-lethal munitions, including stun grenades, rubber bullets, pepper balls, and tear gas on peacefully assembled protesters, which enraged the crowd. And that's when the fighting with the police starts. If you had paid attention to this at all, you'd have known from the very beginning that except for a few dickwads who were up near the Capitol building, this crowd was mostly just milling around in the area. Now, they were filling the area and they were chanting and shouting protest stuff, but they weren't causing any violence until all of a sudden flashbangs were thrown into the crowd and some of the officers began beating people with batons for no apparent reason. And so those people started fighting back with flagpoles, and then that's the footage you see, the people fighting back with the officers because they're beaten with batons, and people are fighting back with flagpoles, whatever. So anyway, this is one of the officers who was testifying in front of Congress, kind of become a little bit of a celebrity. This is one of them. There's a couple of them, because there's another one who claimed that he was fighting with, I think, what are those guys called? The Oath Keepers or something, when actually Oath Keepers were stopping the crowd from actually breaching an area that right in front of him. And then another officer who was not even in the building came and said, oh, yeah, they were fighting with the officer when they have the footage now showing that he didn't. But anyway, so this was about 40 minutes after D.C. Metro Capitol Police launched their first assault to the crowd on the Capitol grounds. Hodges and other D.C. Metro officers arrived in head-to-toe riot gear, ready for a fight. Listen to the reaction from Trump supporters who had already witnessed one fatality and several injuries at the hands of police. Some call them stormtroopers and traitors. It is necessary to understand the widespread use of excessive and unnecessary force by police officers that afternoon that in many cases led to physical clashes between cops and protesters. So here's the video that she posted here. This is one of these people are standing and.
Hold up, jeez, oh my God. What's going on here, boys?
Come on, guys.
So now no one's even noticed. Those people aren't really confronting them physically. They're just yelling at them. So most of these people are just. In fact, oh, did you? Whoa! Oh my God! Did you hear that? Did you hear the guy just said the most heinous thing to that officer? Officer, stay safe. Huh? Wow, that's awful. Now he's angry. Maybe he deserves a baton in the face. Oh, wait. That was a brother there. There was a brother in the crowd. What was he doing there? Now, I don't know. Why are they attacking this guy? Have you seen it? I'm trying to figure out why they suddenly attacked this guy. This guy's just kind of standing there, isn't he? What's this guy doing? Nothing. Okay. Oh, I see. They're arresting somebody. Okay, so. All right, so that's the end there. Now, she says, you may recall Hodges' July 2021 sworn testimony before J6 committee where he misrepresented his conduct on January 6th, as did other police witnesses, and referred to protesters as terrorists. Turns out he was doing the terrorizing. Let's see what he said here.
The crowd attempted to physically bar the rest of the platoon from following. I backtracked and started pulling the terrorists off my team from their backpacks and their collars.
What?
Around this time, one of the terrorists who had scaled the scaffolding that adorned the Capitol at the time threw something heavy down at me and struck me in the head, disorienting me. I suspect this resulted in the likely concussion I dealt with in the weeks after. The crowd attempted to physically...
Okay, so that's what they're showing. Now, shortly after arriving on the scene, dressed like stormtroopers, Hodges continues to randomly use his baton and body to assault protesters, including women. So this is more footage.
Make way! Make way!
He's just pushing people randomly. Like, that guy's not doing anything. But this doesn't really tell me anything, I got to be honest with you. So they're helping him up. That's weird. Why would...
You're in a bad tactical position. You guys need to get out. You're wrong. Hey, your microphone. Hey, what can we do to help you? You guys, no, that ain't gonna happen. How can we get you out of here safely? How can we get you out?
Okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting dialogue there. I mean, it's fascinating. Hodges was a witness in the Colorado lawsuit seeking to remove Trump from a ballot under the Insurrection 14A Section 3 of the Constitution. Here's his testimony.
The crowd attacked me in a variety of ways, punching, kicking, pushing. Chemical irritants such as sosa spray or pepper spray. I was beaten in the head with blunt instruments, including my own riot baton. I was pinned and crushed with a police shield.
Okay, you can barely hear that, so I'm going to just skip that. Then police continued to agitate the crowd using bike rafts, not as a gate, but as a weapon. CCTV video from atop the Capitol shows a peaceful and growing crowd arriving after Trump's speech on the west side. The Capitol was about to be evacuated. At this timestamp, there was no need to use racks to further shove people standing on public property, committing no crime away from the building, except to bully them and inflame the situation, which they did. Had this been any other protest or any other group of demonstrators besides Trump supporters, lawsuits and firings would be ongoing. So here's more footage that she's speaking of here.
That's assault! I want you fucking down! Hold on, Hey, Donnie Jr., get the fuck over here! Hey, son! Hold the fucking line! Hold the
So you can see footage from overhead on this. Maybe they'll have it if they have it. Okay, you can't see it from here. Let's see if you get the idea. Let's see if they have the overhead footage though. That doesn't look like it. So anyway, someone asked her, why aren't you interested in the fact that he lied under oath during my insurrection trial out there in New Mexico? I told you I have trial transcripts that prove what I'm saying. She said, never said I wasn't. They all lied under oath numerous times and send me the transcripts. So anyway, so that's interesting. It's, you know, now that some of the other footage is finally being seen, we might get some different pictures, but we do have, for example, there's absolute video of someone who testified in some of these hearings that said they were a witness to things that they could not have seen because the officer was in a completely different building, and there's timestamp video of him moving about other parts of the Capitol when he supposedly saw things that happened at a very specific time. So that's what's going on there. And then finally, I'm going to finish with this one because you know my thoughts on this. So Joe Walsh, my favorite lolcow on X right now, put this post up today. Said, I was planning to post this a couple weeks after the election, no matter who won. Yeah, I'm sure, no matter who won. America should get rid of the Electoral College once and for all. The popular vote, whoever gets the most votes nationwide, should determine who's president. Agree or disagree, and tell me why. Thanks. Well, I'm going to actually show you someone who was very eloquent about this not that long ago, and that would be Joe Walsh. You libs crying about the Electoral College. Oh, wait a minute. Full screen middle. One, we are a nation made up of states every 4 years, we have 51 state-level elections. Okay? God. This guy has just turned basically, he was hoping that Donald Trump would only win the Electoral College and not the popular vote so he could post this. And again, we are not, the President of the United States is not the President of the people. The President of the United States is the President of a confederation of states. Ideally, each state would only have one vote per state. But the Founding Fathers said, well, we can give you some consideration for population. But that's your House of Representatives, not your Senate. And the presidency is just a combination of the two. The Electoral College is because each state really should only have one vote because it's just like no one's suggesting that the EU, the president of the parliament of the EU be elected by popular vote among all the EU countries. Why? Because the countries themselves as a group are a confederation of states, and each state has a vote in who they elect to the president of their parliament, and that's the way we do it here. First of all, the federal government shouldn't have that much power over your personal life anyway. It should only be able to do the things that the states can't do as a collective. The states can't put a military together, each separate have separate military. So we have a federal military that protects our country. We have the disputes between states are adjudicated by the federal courts, and so on and so forth. So I'm just laughing that Joe Walsh has gone that far off his fucking rocker, and he'll be my favorite low call for a while. All right. That's it for today. I appreciate you all being here on the Morning Night Live. As you know, I'm here Monday through Friday. And don't forget, I'm dropping this link in the links to my new merch in the links today. So appreciate anyone who, if you're interested in that stuff. I will promote it a little more later. I'm still figuring out how exactly I'm going to do that. Because I don't want people stealing my shit, my idea. I think it's a great idea. So that's it. I got to go. Here come the links in a second. I'm working on that. What the hell happened there? What? Uh-oh. That's not good. What the hell happened there? Oh, somehow this got popped over here. Oh, okay. It's still working. Somehow all of them got sent over there. All right. Well, there we go. What the hell happened? Okay. Well, the links are going to have to be in the... Oh, there we go. Okay. I was like, what the hell happened? Jesus. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Here come the links. God, that's a mess. Anyway, I gotta go. Have a great day. My name's P-Dog Knight. Out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.